Hi, this is Penny from Penney'S place, and I have to redo this video because I made it too long, but I just want to let you know a little bit more to the point about Mars conjunct Jupiter in Scorpio in 2018. Okay. What I did was I went back and I had to Google it up because my ephemeris here only goes to 2020. So I went back on the internet to the last time that Jupiter conjunct Mars in Scorpio, which was 1970. Okay, well, they never did connect. The closest they came was 5 degrees, and the event that was going on at that time was people were revolting against the Vietnam War. Okay, there was a lot of riots, there was a lot of demonstrations, and there was also a fire. That was the other big event in Grenoble or something like that, and there was a big party and a lot of people died. And I think there was a fire there too. We just saw this happen again in California. Okay, I'm doing this video in December 2016. So, this is going to be a little more intense than 1970. It's going to involve Neptune people, which that was definitely the cause before. Neptune was in Scorpio. It caused, of course, drugs caused a lot of deaths. A lot. We lost a lot of good musicians back then. People who used drugs and were performing, we lost a lot. This time, Neptune is in 12th house of institutions and hospitals and stuff, which you would say that's where they belong. So, we're talking about a war to do with, like, it's still going to be against the, Jupiter is about judges and the law and rule, so this is going to probably be another revolt, only it's going to be a lot worse, and a lot of people are going to die because of the increase. Mars is the cops, weapons, war, fires, anger, violence, and they connect for 3 days and 3 nights. There's a serious conflict going on, and it and at first it trains the 11th house of crowds, but it's very close to the 12th house of Neptune, drugs, narcotics. Okay, I really feel like from 1970 to now, the drug culture got out of hand because nobody was paying attention. Everybody thought they were innocent. We've learned a lot since then, but we're still not doing enough. And these are, I still think, people have a connection to the rioting, and I think that if we have to go back to war again, and we are frightened that it is going to end up being a nuclear war, there is going to be a severe reaction and panic, and if Mr. Trump decides he wants to reenact the draft, as he mentioned, that is going to cause the same exact reaction that we had to put up with back in 1970. So, that in a nutshell is what you can expect to see happen. We've just had a fire just like they had, and back in 1970, I think they said 370 people died. We didn't have that many this time, but we haven't even hit 2018 yet. I mean 2017. I would pay very close attention. Now, as far to what goes on in 2017, and I don't know if there's anything. You know, what bothers me is Mars conjuncts Jupiter, and then leaves Jupiter sitting increase in Scorpio life and death, and it stays there and doesn't leave until November of 2018. Jupiter hung around last time in the 1970s, but we all knew that was drug related. It kind of is this time, but not directly. We have a lot of mental illness to deal with now. And God forbid, a lot of people self-medicate with drugs and alcohol. We're starting to legalize things. You know, we are giving, I think, and it's showing in the chart, we have given too much power and control over to the drug culture. And now it's reaching the point where we're going to have to succumb to it. It's because even though they don't take over the government, they are definitely making it very marketable, and it's getting into the hands of an awful lot of people in the population. When you go into the hospitals, you're going to end up getting barbiturates that are going to leave people hooked. This is going to get out of control. And in the end, the drug culture is going to gain control over the majority of the people. Okay. This is what I see in the chart. This is not what I personally think. Okay. It certainly isn't what I want. But it's definitely what the chart is saying. And I think that because the government looked the other way, didn't think it was any big deal, that people would grow up and grow out of the drug culture was just going to be something that was going to be a phase. It wasn't like that. And it's growing. And we know the terrorists are connected to it. Pluto is in the government house of Capricorn. And Saturn, which is the government's natural sign, is going to be there right at the beginning of 2018, right when this happens. And Pluto is about poisonous gases, total transformation. There are some indications that we could be in the grips of a nuclear something. Yeah, the government just goes under. That would definitely create all kinds of mayhem. But I don't know that for sure. It could be something that... but it's definitely... 1970 is telling you what's going to happen in 2018. And if you pay attention to what goes on through 2017, this coming year, you'll see it. You know, so the clue is going to be watching what goes on in 2017. That's how you're going to know. Okay. Definitely, you're going to see riots. Definitely, people are going to react because they don't. Nobody wants to go back to war. Nobody wants to see the draft come back. This is going to cause a riot. Is there going to be a nuclear war? I don't know, but the elements are all there in the chart to say that this could definitely be a possibility, and that's where I'm going to leave it. and I want to keep this short, so my advice is that you just watch the chart, watch what happens on the news in 2017, and hope that if there is going to be a nuclear war or any kind of war, that we will be told and advised so that people can prepare however they have to. That being said, have a good Christmas and Happy New Year, and just keep your eye on what's going on. Try to be very alert to what's going on with the foods, and what's happening with the legalization of medical marijuana and other drugs in the hospital, and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to in the hospitals, and keep an eye on your loved ones and yourself if you have to go in there. Pay attention. I know you're sick when you go in the hospital, but you got to pay attention to what's going on, because there are people, according to my chart, that are working in there that use, okay? So be very, very careful. Be very selective who your physicians are and your caretakers and which hospital you're going to, okay? A lot of things are going to, once again, not get noticed by the government. Okay, so Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Keep your eyes open, keep your hopes high, and Happy New Year, and we'll see you later.